The Media Essentials book is really up to date with a lot of different things, including recent movies and music performances, as well as other creative works and current company histories. One thing it fails to include is new revenue models that I'm going to show you in this presentation. The first one is called Patreon, which is on the screen right now. Here you can see how much different people are asking for different creative works, whether it's a video production, music, comic that they're working on. Anything artistic can get on this site, and they'll say what they're going to do and how much it's going to cost. So here you can see that some people are making over $1,000 on each of their creations. Some people make a bit less. Right here we have $552. But for a really small website, I would say they're doing exceptionally well getting artists money. And this is all without a huge label or large conglomerate company behind things. I feel like a system like Patreon is better for content creators as well as users because they can both give feedback to each other. The users can choose what they want, so there is some competition and differentiation between products, and they can also give feedback and choose what is going to be created. The second option is crowdfunding, which is a basic principle that extends throughout many of these things. Here's an example of a really successful one called the Pebble smartwatch. Not made by Google, not made by Apple or any other really big company, but it received $10 million worth of funding out of its original $100,000 goal. As you can see, there are different reward levels on the right hand side here for people who back the project. Depending on how much they back it, they can receive a reward, and there are a ton of different uses for it. It's a smartwatch which interacts with a smartphone. Really nerdy, kind of a specialized product, but then again, they did raise $10 million out of $100,000 needed. I think this could be applied to really anything, and this Kickstarter.com website can sponsor anything, whether it is a creative work like we would talk about in mass media or physical hardware, as you can see here with the Pebble smartwatch. Another option is a pay-what-you-want website called Baboom. Baboom was made by Kim.com, who was the previous owner of Mega, which some of you might know as Mega Upload, which was an illegal file sharing site. He ended up moving to New Zealand, where the police extradited him to the United States, and he faced charges for piracy since he decided he did not want to be responsible for any of the copyrighted materials that were shared on his website. So after he got through his legal troubles, he created this website called Baboom, which has a whole bunch of different news articles right now, but the biggest thing is music. So he released an album called Good Times that you can see right here, and he simply says, pay whatever you want. If you don't feel like it's good music, don't pay anything, and if you think it's great music, pay as much as you want. And that's kind of his philosophy on how artists should be paid and how money should be made. Again, no large companies, people produce what they need to, and if it's good enough, the public votes and is able to encourage people to make more money. The next website is Magnatune, which is somewhat of a competitor to, say, Amazon or iTunes. The biggest difference is they give exactly half of the money to the content creators or the artists, and it's $15 a month for a trial. It used to be where you'd pay however much you wanted, just had to be a minimum of $15 a month. And you can see here their policies are very open. Legally share your music with friends and family. You can share it just like if you had a gramophone record player several decades ago, you could share music with people, lend it out to them. In this case, they're even saying you can share up to 3 copies with people, and this is all indie artists. They deal directly with musicians, never with record labels, and you can download things however you want. It's not restricted to only playing on an iPod or being downloaded in some crazy M4A iTunes format. For those of you who use streaming services like Spotify, you may wish to reconsider after seeing this infographic. Here you can see different things that would equal an artist making minimum wage, which is $1,160. So for a self-made CD selling at $10, which is a typical price for most independent artists who go on tour and have small venues, they would make about $8 for each CD sold. You can see going up, we have a retail album with a low-end royalty deal where the artist on a $10 CD is only making 30 cents. And then you have other things like album downloads on iTunes where they're making about $1 out of 10. And then you have, this is typical of major artists, a retail album CD, and they make $1 out of 10, which means they have to sell 1,161 to make minimum wage compared to 143. Going down here, we get into streaming. Now we see that instead of making a little bit under $1, they're not even making a single penny streaming from Rhapsody. These circles are all proportional, by the way, to the amount of plays or purchases that it would take to add up to that minimum wage. So we have Last FM here, and then we have the most popular one, Spotify. Does not fit at all on the page. You can see this arc. They are making 4/10,000ths of a penny whenever you stream their music. So I really don't think that streaming music is a good way for artists to make money at all. Yeah, it's legal, but honestly, sending an artist who's independent or even a major artist a couple bucks through PayPal is going to do a heck of a lot more than you would ever be able to do in your lifetime of listening to Spotify. Anyway, I'd encourage you to support these websites. There's Patreon, Kickstarter, Magnatune, and some of these things up here, like actually purchasing CDs that are $10 self-pressed by the artists. Thanks for watching these